Bitcoins and beer, bitcoins and beer. Here is Norm, he's a storm as he screams and raves and rants. He is here drinking beer, sprinkling bitcoins on his pants. It's me, Norm, again. Here once again to drink beer and talk about Bitcoin. And I know you're probably sick of this because you don't watch anymore. So who's gonna care? Really? Really, who's gonna care? First of all, let's talk about today's beer, which is a very special beer. It's the Sierra Nevada Harvest Ale Wild Hop IPA. And I always enjoy this one because it has some really wonderful hops in it. It's a harvest ale, so I haven't had the wild hop. This is seasonal. I've had their harvest ale before, and it's always been really yummy. I can't wait to try it. I'm not going to drink the whole thing. Got to save the other half for the lovely lady at the house. I think she would enjoy it. I am good. Pour it into a glass. Oh, of course. Sorry, I'm pouring into a Northern California beer into a Southern California glass. But that's okay. It's nice and cloudy. It smells kind of like a wild hop. Very nice, enjoyable beer. I can't say if I've like it more than the past Harvest Ales. I'm not sure yet. A little bit different, but still wonderfully enjoyable. Let's get into the Bitcoin. You know, the beer is just a small part of this. I got asked a really weird question about Bitcoin today. Well, not really that weird. No, it's a question I don't think I've been asked before. And it's a question without an answer, because when you think about it, all answers are objective and opinionated when it comes to certain things. And I just try to use my logic and reason to answer questions. A little bit of opinion, because you use your logic and reason to come up with opinion most of the time, not other people's logic and reason, which is why things are so confused nowadays, because most people try to come up with other people's logic and reason and opinion instead of coming up with their own. Which, I have to admit, we are a lazy society now. We have become a lazy society because of the stupid smartphone, which turned us all into the scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. If I only had a brain. I was in that play in junior college. Jeremy Renner played the scarecrow. Believe it or not. By the way, just produced a great series on Crackle. Throwaways. Very good series, right? And they do mention Bitcoin at the beginning of it. They don't speak it out loud, but they do print it. So I do recommend it if you like that sort of thing. It's actually pretty good. And Crackle actually has a really good documentary called Inside Job I just watched. And it kind of explains the whole last video I just posted, which is odd. I watched it just a few days ago. Check it out. It's very cool. Well, not that I'm promoting Jeremy Renner, because he's an old college friend of mine that hasn't talked to me in 12 years. And also, you should watch Kill the Messenger if you really want to understand, the whole Ross Ulbricht trial and how he was kind of set up. you don't know who Ross Ulbricht is or was, he's been sent to jail for life for doing something. Well, you should watch Kill the Messenger to really understand that, because he was allegedly the Dread Pirate Roberts from the movie The Princess Bride. If you ever want to watch that movie, that's a great movie because it explains when Andre the Giant asked why they're kidnapping the girl. It's a great movie, Why Wars Start. The answer is why wars start. But this has nothing to do with that whole thing. It has to do with a question I was asked. The question was, if Bitcoin's so great, why does the media explain it so badly? Like it's a bad thing. Because it is a disruptive technology, just like the internet, or the World Wide Web, I should say. The internet and World Wide Web are two different things, which I explained in a prior video that I never posted. Why is it such a bad thing to the media? Well, you have to understand something about the media. Media used to be, the news, I should say, used to be a public service. So it can be completely objective and not, have advertisers or commercials. It's not supposed to. So it can be non-biased. Unfortunately, the media nowadays, since cable TV, especially since CNN or whatever, has commercials. That means it has sponsors. The sponsors have agendas, and that means anything that involves the sponsors cannot be portrayed badly in the news. So remember this. If anything that involves sponsors that is bad, it will be, if it's a big enough news story, it'll probably be dismissed. And luckily, we have things like HBO, which is it's not sponsored, it's a subscription-based service, which has news stuff. Politically Incorrect, this week with, what's his name? I don't agree with either one of the hosts, unfortunately, because they also have probably an agenda. But even the All News has an agenda, and it has to do with their sponsors, and they will not talk badly about their sponsors. Unfortunately, Bitcoin is a threat to the banks, which I explained to you in the last video, and it has a threat to other services like Western Union, let's say, which I believe probably will sponsor a lot of things. The internet also had a threat to Western Union because of their Telegram service, which is hasn't been around for at least a decade. Well, thank God they can still send money overnight. But if they have a sponsor, they have the agenda of that sponsor. That's why all news is completely bullshit now. All news does not have a true non-biased opinion. That's why you're watching YouTube probably. Because there are YouTube channels that have a non-biased opinion. Hopefully they won't get shut down. Net neutrality, which, on the good side, there's a good side and a bad side where it can be regulated or it can't be regulated or whatever. The good and bad are both controlled. Trust me. Just like the alternative media, there's the mainstream media, the alternative media. Alternative media also has an agenda. Their agenda is to comply with their sponsors, which is to scare the shit out of you. Because notice their sponsors are all fear-based. It scares the shit out of you. Say, oh yeah, well this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Other sponsors, or there are other alternative media, like media that wants us to up and rebel against our country, like they're sponsored by countries that don't like us. So they want us to point out everything that is wrong with our country, so the people wake up and rebel against our country to cause discourse and whatever against the government. Which, that's wrong too, I think. I totally think that's completely wrong. What they might be saying is the truth, but violence is never an answer to that. Which is why I think they're part of the ones pushing Bitcoin. Yeah, I believe they are pushing Bitcoin. Because it is disruptive. But you have to look at Bitcoin as a vehicle for money. A vehicle for money. And money is subjective. Money is just what you view it as. To tell you the truth, who wants this? Money right now in the United States is debt. It's debt. You don't actually own it. You don't hold it. It's just debt. Who wants to spend money you don't have on things you don't need? You want to spend money you have on things you need. Debt is all money you don't have on things you don't need to impress people you don't like. There's a need and a want. Why do you want it? To impress people you don't like? For things you don't need. Keeping up with the Joneses. I just don't think it's true capitalism. True capitalism is to prosper, to produce. We're not producing anymore. We're consuming. Regulations have made it impossible to produce. And I've rambled on for way too long now. I hope you understand what I'm saying, because, you know, if I was watching this drunk, I would probably may not have. Keep it in mind. Remember, a Satoshi saved is a Satoshi earned. Cheers.